or their rate plan. I'm sorry, 180. I have to. Don't worry about it. You'll get it in a minute. All right. So let's start the hard stuff now. The hard stuff. All right. So, customer calls in. Wait. Okay. The next thing is suspensions. Suspensions. This is the call that customers calling about suspensions a lot, right?
Yeah.
Now, we take the restore fees up front. But the way I'm going to explain this is the old way where we built the customer to restore fees. A, because you can get an understanding of why we take the restore fees up front, because it screws the customer's bill up. B, also there's customers who, previous experts who had their coaches bill the restore fees anyway, and you have to come and explain why their bill is so high. Does that make sense? Yeah. And you're going to understand why we take restore fee payments up front, but you're also going to understand if the previous expert restored a service and billed the restore fees, you'll be able to understand what the bill looks like. Does that make sense? Yes. All right, we know that the clue for Samson bill charges for double payments is a backdated rate plan change. There's a clue for suspensions. All right, so customer calls, customer's on the $180 plan. His bill is due on the 21st. The 23rd, his service was suspended. The customer calls in on the 23rd and say, hey, my phone's not working. Well, it's because your service was suspended because you had a past due balance of $80. So, what do we need to pay to restore his service? Remember, this is the old way. You don't have to pay the restore fees up front this way. So, how much do we need to pay today to restore his service? 180, right? So, January bill cycle charge, right? Customer was charged how much? 180, leaving a balance of what?
180.
All right. Service was suspended. So, in order for him to restore service, he has to pay the past due balance, which is how much? 180. So, on January 23rd, he did what? Made a payment. And how much did he pay? 180. Which brings the balance down to what?
0.
Now, the moment this happens, some stuff going to pending. We're starting to already calculate February's bill. So we already know that February bill is going to have February 8th to March 7th, what? 180. All right. Now, we know that now, because his customer was suspended and restored, he's going to have what? Restore fees. Now, how many lines do we have?
4.
How much are the restore fees?
$20
$20 total or $20 per line?
per line.
So how much total he's going to have?
80.
Now, it's kind of $22, $23 with tax, but we're just going to do the whole amount. So he's going to have restore fees, so it's going to be one time, right? Restore fee of how much? 80. Now, now what happens every time we suspend the customer's account and restore it? Huh?
I'm sorry.
What happens when what do we charge a customer when their service is suspended and restored outside the restore fees?
There is a charge for the rate plan.
Proration.
Proration.
Proration. So here's what happens. So we prorate from the 23rd to the 7th. So that's 14 days. So that's kind of like half. So let's see, half of 180 is what? 90? So we need 95. So it's going to have from January what? 23rd to what? Feb 7th. What?
95.
Proration for how much?
95.
So this customer's total bill is 182, 360. How much?
355.
Wait, is that? Oh, that's 260, 355. Good job. That's right, 355. 355. Shoot, that's a lot. So, customer's going to call in. So we got February's bill cycle charge. Bill cycle charge. And how much is it again? How much? No. 355. Leaving a balance of what?
355.
Now you have to explain to this customer why they would charge, why their bill is $355. So how do you explain this to a customer? Have you guys had this call before?
Yes.
No? You probably won't get it because we made some changes to this and you're going to understand why. So is this right or is this something looks off? What looks off about the account? Why the prorated charge? Because the moment we stop billing the customer and we charge them, because we bill current, we charge them a prorated amount. Huh? Oh, you mean to tell me you're not going to accept my answer when I tell you to tell the customer?
That's
Good, because you're using your brain.
sir, may I answer it? Jen Care Days.
That's what's the answer, right?
Yeah.
The moment we stop billing you, we stop billing the account. But then when you restore your service, we bill you for the prorated amount. Now you're going to realize that the whole time you were telling customers that, it was wrong. We bill what? Current, right? The good thing about bill current is when you pay your bill, you're paid what? Up to the end of the bill cycle. How much does this customer's bill every month?
180.
And how much did he have to pay to restore service?
80.
No, how much did he have to pay to restore service? 180. It's past due, 180. It's past due. Remember he had to pay 180. Oh, did I put that on there? Yeah, 180. Right?
Yeah.
So which means if he paid 180 on the 23rd, he's paid up until when? 7. So you mean to tell me he paid 180 and on top of that we're going to charge him another $95?
Yeah.
For proration? So we're charging this customer, what's 180 plus 95? $275 for a $108 rate plan. Is that what you're telling me?
No.
So what do you think is going to happen? The wife has got to fix his mistakes, right? So they're going to do a system-generated adjustment, right? And how much is that system-generated adjustment going to be for?
95.
$95. Bring the balance down to what?
Do something.
Yeah, I don't think so.
260.
How much is that to
That's
something?
260.
260.
260. Does that make
100,
sense?
that's my plus my
Now, will the customer still call in and ask why their bill is high? And why would they ask why their bill is high? Because they expect to pay what? 180. But why is the customer's bill is high? Restoration fees. Does that make sense?
Yes. So
Everybody
only
understand
the
that?
restoration fees. Yes.
So if you went by here and used only bill cycle charge, you would say, hey, this customer's charged $355. Yeah, you were charged prorated for $95 because your service was suspended and restored, which we assume Gen Care. Well, you mean to tell me I already paid $180, then you're going to charge me another $95? Because we bill current, Samson can't keep up. But that's why he has his baby to help him out. So, clue number 2. If you see a prorated amount on a customer's bill, but you also see a one-time restoral fee, we know not to talk about what? Not suspension. You never talk about the prorated charge, because did the prorated charge ever happen? No. Now, back in Gen Care, we explained it like this. The moment we stop billing your service, we stop billing you. But when your service is restored, we bill you a prorated amount. That's stuff that happens on the back end. That's stuff that we don't need to tell the customer because that's not true. We charge you that prorated amount, but we also credit you that prorated amount. The reason why it looks like a charge is because we bill current, and Samson can't keep up with bill current. So it's going to look on your bill as a charge, but right under the charge, you're going to see that same charge in parentheses. Because the way our system is set up, it's going to charge you, but because we understand our system is set up that way, we're going to give you that credit for it too. So do we need to talk about proration? But when you do, what is that going to do? Open up a whole can of worms. So if you see a prorated charge because of a suspension, you know not to what?
Mention.
Talk about
Talk
suspension.
about
So the only thing the customers only charged was what?
restoral fees only.
Now, the customer, if you go here, you don't see this $95 charge. Why?
It will
Oh, you have to go back a bill cycle to pull it up and see that 95 charge. But you don't have to do all that because it's going to show you where. 531. Is that hard? Huh? It was? It was, bro? That was hard?
Naman kasi
That one was hard?
makes sense naman. Kasi nagbayad na siya ng 180. Bakit pa natin siya i-charge?
Now, this is prorated and restored in the same way. Right?
Didn't say.
Alright, so are y'all ready to go on to the next one? The one that you're going to get the most? Huh? Alright, let me stop right there. Before I go into that one, let's do a little activity. 'Cause that one is actually the hardest one. Alright? So, let's do an activity. Now that you know pretty much how to use this, the dashboard. So, January, let's say the customer is on $180 plan. January, bill cycle charge, 180, balance 180. Made a payment, $80, 0. February, 180. Catch. February bill cycle charge, 180, 180. Payment, 180, 0. March, bill cycle charge, 180, 180. Payment, 180, 0. April, bill cycle charge, 495. 495.
That time.
Nope. What's that for April? May. May. I just had a brain freak question. May. 495. 495.
Past due na.
180. What's the total? Huh? 675. Pay. 180.
Past due.
495. Bringing the balance down to 495. Now, hey, I'm calling in because I want to know why. Nope, let me do one more thing. May. June. Nope, no, just keep it like that. I'm calling in because I want to know why my bill is so high. You know what? It's not even going to look like this. I'm sorry. Let me change this up.
75. 180.
What's 495
Plus 180.
minus 180? So it'd be 315? Okay.
359.
Alright. So you're going to see this, right? And this is where it gets confusing, right? This is what scares you, right? This is what scares you, right? So, let me help you use this based off what you learned. You're going to be, after this training, you're going to learn how to be able to resolve building issues quickly. So remember when I first started and I asked the question, how many of you always go by charge, by charge, by charge? Right?
Yeah.
But really all you need to know is to make the bill high, right? So, right now, just looking at, I want y'all to drive focus on the balance, right? or bills charged. That's one of the two. We know just looking at that tells a story. How much on average do a customer normally expects to pay? 180. But we noticed that something happened where? In April. And you saw in April that his bill went up by a certain amount of money, right?
Yeah.
$315. So what do you think you're going to do? Where are you going to go over here? Go to where? Samson. Samson bill charges for which month? April. So you go to Samson bill charges for April. Oh, here. So you go to April's bill charges, right? And this is what you'll see. April 8th to May 7th, 180, one time charge of $315, and it would be OOW. $495. So, on average, you pay. So, how would you explain to this customer why their bill is so high? So, customer, the reason why your bill is high is you did a warranty. So, you don't want to tell them. You want to get them to ask, right?
Yeah.
So, I noticed that your bill runs you every month. How much? 180, right? And you always want to say right, and they respond yes. But I do see in April you had a bill for $495. You go to bill charges, you see here. So what's the next question you want to ask the customer? You recently processed a warranty exchange, right?
Did you process any?
Oh, I see what happened. So what happened is when you do a warranty exchange, your device must have been damaged. So we charge you a out of warranty fee. But let me go ahead and confirm it. Now where are you going to go from here? The out of warranty image lookup tool. And you see it was a damaged device. Oh yeah, I see your screen was cracked. What? I didn't have a cracked screen. You know, you're going to get that. Well, what I can do is I can send you a picture because you got the image, right?
Yeah.
You can send you the image. I can show you where it cracked. Well, I thought I was supposed to get another phone. Don't I pay for that every month to have warranty to be able to replace my phone if it was damaged? Oh, I do see you have insurance. So what we should have done for you is an insurance claim and not a what? Warranty claim. Because the expert before did a warranty claim, caused you to get a what? What would you do for this customer? I'm just curious. This is something I'm going to add extra. What would you do for this customer if that happened? Huh? What happened?
Escalate the soup.
If they're not, they won't get their phone back.
They won't get their phone back because it's already on
But they got another phone, right?
the.
So what would you do for this customer in this situation? So the previous agent did a warranty exchange and instead of an insurance claim, right? Because they didn't know.
Why
So what would you do for this customer?
phone?
But they're from the warranty. They don't get the new phone.
Right.
We won't send
You
it.
would credit?
send it?
Who,
That's the time that
who would
they send
credit?
it.
Raise your hand if you would credit. Who wouldn't credit? Raise your hand if you won't credit. Why won't you credit? Tell me why wouldn't you credit it?
Well, for the, they do receive a replacement phone for the phone they sent back.
Yep.
Technically, they paid for the phone that, a brand new phone that they got.
Like a deductible or something?
No, because it's out of warranty. No, it's not a deductible. Because when they,
What's your name? So why wouldn't you credit it?
it's like you're paying for the phone that they got the replacement of the
Can you
damage.
take your credit?
All right, so let's. Oh, go ahead. You would credit it or you wouldn't credit it?
I
Why would you credit?
Because customer are made aware prior to processing a warranty replacement that phone should not be physically or liquid damage.
But he said that it wasn't aware of it. She even told you that she pays every month to have her the ability to do a warranty exchange, to do a warranty exchange. And you go and you see that she has insurance. Let me get him first, and I got you. What?
I will read the difference between
Are you a mentor?
Yeah, mentor.
Oh no, I want the mentor. So he gave it away. I would credit this, and I would expect you guys to credit it. Now, it's a matter of how much would you credit.
Yeah.
So I want y'all to think about something. If the customer says they pay every month to have a replacement if their phone was damaged, so how many of you guys, is it easy to make a mistake and do a warranty exchange over an insurance claim? You guys are new. If I called you and you didn't have no help and I said I want to do my phone broken, my phone's not working, and you said, okay, it's not working, what's going on with it? Just, it's not powering on. You follow the steps in Grand Central and phone for not powering on, they direct you to do a warranty exchange. Because you didn't ask the question, is there any physical damage? No, there's no physical damage, but there's liquid damage in there. But here's how she got the liquid damage. She would take a shower. Her phone would be sometimes on the sink, and the steam would. Do I know that caused liquid damage? Taking a shower and the steam will cause phone. I don't know. So if you tell me there's liquid damage, I'm gonna tell you no. And that's a key thing. You ask instead of looking, and that's where we have to get more good at looking and confirming rather than saying, is there liquid damage? And we'll learn about that in training sometime one day. So, you do a warranty exchange. We get the phone back, there's liquid damage. We charge the customer $315. Now, if she would have did an insurance claim, let's say the deductible was $99. So, would you credit this customer for this? Yes. Would you credit the whole $315? No. What would you credit? The difference between the what? The $99 deductible. Does that make sense? Yes. So that's how you start thinking, like outside of the box. Thinking outside of the box. Okay, I did a warranty exchange, but she had liquid damage. She said she pays every month for it, so maybe she was under the pressure of doing an insurance claim. And that's stuff you have to do a research to understand. But this situation, so the deductible was supposed to be $99. You were charged $315. So what we do is, there was a confusion. You should have been doing an insurance claim, which there is a $99 deductible to do an insurance claim. So here's what I'll do. I'll charge you the $99 for the deductible and credit the difference. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's out of the box. And that's that because of the situation. Right? But did we go and say, hey, you had this every month, you had this tax, you had this fee? We looked to see on average how much your bill is every month, right? Yes. And then we saw that it was a huge increase of what? Of May. We went to drill charges and saw that it was a out of warranty fee. Did we talk about any other thing but just out of warranty fee? You see how simple that is? So today, after we go through our last scenario, I'm going to show you how easy it's going to be to look at these things. How you're going to be able to use these dashboards. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then I'm going to show you a little something else too. Something that I learned last trip I was here. I didn't know about it. You probably already know about it, but I didn't know about it. All right, y'all ready for the hard stuff now? Now I'm gonna need an extra bill cycle for this because it's going to impact March's bill. So March what? 8th to what? April 7th. Alright, so we're going to do a recap. We billed what again? The good thing about bill current is when you pay your bill, you're paid up until when? 7. The bad part about it is any changes you make,
will be reflecting on the next bill cycle.
good job. Now, clue, if you see double bill MRC, that means the customer did what? It was backdated. And then there's a potential that the customer would only be charged the difference, right? From the old plan that it was on versus the new plan. Now, if they don't pay their bill, then they're charged whole. But if you do see, you go to bill charge, you see a prorated amount, and then you see a restoral fees, that lets you know the customer's prorated was charged because of what? And that lets you know to do what? Not mention proration. Does that make sense? Good job. If a customer, if you go into Samson bill charges on an account that should have a credit, right? And you don't see it here, like a system generated credit, is that wrong? If you don't see the system generated credit here in Samson? No, you would have to what?
Check on
Bill, because whenever the service, whatever bill cycle it impacted, that system generated credit will go towards that what? Bill cycle, but it still will impact the current February's bill. Does that make sense? It's just we will put it on that bill cycle was impacted, but because it's coming off as a credit, it's still going to impact your total balance here. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, so you ready for the hard stuff? All right. Bam. January. Customers has the bill cycle charge. And what plan are you on? 180. Leaving a balance of 180. So, February 2nd, I received a text message saying your service is about to be suspended. So I called in and I said, oh, she don't have the money. What can I do? And I take the rate, right? So when can you make that payment? We have how many days? What's the max? 14. So on February what? My payment range will be due on which day? February what? 16. So it's the second. 14 days will be what? So that runs over into what? The next bill cycle. So the 16th is when January's payment arrangement is due. Now, I didn't get suspended, so I made a payment arrangement. So what that's going to do is when February 10th comes, it's going to show what's the next line is going to be now? February. Now it's going to be bill cycle. Now I'm going to be charged what? 180. But I'm also going to have a what? A past due balance of what?
180.
Leaving my balance down to what? 360. That make sense?
Yeah.
Actually, we're going to do another one. We're going to do another one. Let's do April, because I want to make this hard for y'all. April 8th to what? May 7th. I want to make this hard for y'all. So, on the 16th, my payment is due. I made a payment. So, Feb 16th, right? I made a payment, right? Of how much?
180.
Bringing my balance down to what?
180.
Once a payment arrangement maker, always a payment arrangement maker. So March 2nd comes, I get this text message. Then what do you think I'm going to do? Call in and make a what? Payment arrangement. When can I make the payment arrangement? March what? 16th. So March 16th is when February's payment arrangement is due. So we know on the 10th now, we're going to have what? March bill cycle charge, which is how much? But then I also now have a what?
180.
For past due for February, bring my balance down to what? Now, the 18th came, and I didn't make a payment, so my service was suspended. Uh-oh. My service was suspended. So I called in and said, hey, I can't use my phone. Why? Because you have a past due balance, right?
Yeah.
Now, my due date's the what? 23rd of every month, right? Oh, no, 21st. 21st of every month is my due date. Alright, but I have a past due balance. That was my service was suspended. So how much will I have to pay to restore service today?
180.
Remember, we're doing the old way, so we're charging restoral fee. So I only have to pay 180, right? So, the next thing I did was make a payment, right? For how much?
180.
Which restored my service, which brought my bill down to what?
180.
Why didn't I have to pay the full 360?
It's not yet.
Because March bill is not due until when?
21st.
But I had to still pay my past due for February, right? Does that make sense? Now we know that we're going to have to figure out, because something happened, right? I was suspended. So we know that a higher bill is about to come up, right? Y'all ready for this hard one? Tap him in the blue for me. So what happened on this one? What just happened? I don't know. The service was suspended in March, right? So anytime the service is suspended and restored, we're going to charge the customer what? Restoral fee. Good job. So we know for April, what is it? 8th to what? May 7th. How much? 180. And we know he's going to have one time what? Restoral. For how much? Why 80? Oh, 4 lines. Then also we're going to charge him what? Prorated. And that's going to be from the 18th to the 7th, which is 10, 11, 12.
20 days.
How much? 20 days. Woo. So that's going to be like $120. Let's do, so it's 120. So it'd be February or March, right? Is it March? March 18th to what? April 7th. We're going to charge proration for how much? 120. Bringing the balance down to what? $308. We know that, right? Now, April 2nd, what do you think is going to happen? We'll make a payment arrangement, right? When is the payment arrangement due? April 16th, payment arrangement. So that'd be March, payment arrangement due. Now, time to figure out what? March is 8th bill, right? So, well, no, April's 8th, right? April. So, April, we have a bill cycle charge of how much?
380.
380. Remember, it's going to be whatever's in the bill. Then we also have a past due balance of what? 180. Leaving a total balance of what? 560. Now, the number one rule when you see account suspended is what? We don't talk about what? Why? What happens to that proration? So where we're going to put the adjustment? So it's going to be a system generated adjustment. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Remember when we're suspended and restored in the same bill cycle, right? It doesn't carry over a past due balance. This one carries over a past due balance. Are you with me? Number one rule. If you don't see an adjustment here, it's because why?
The adjustment was made.
You have to go back a bill, right?
Yep.
So if you go back a bill, let's say this example, the suspension happened where? March. So you won't see it in April. You will have to go back in March, right? The adjustment happened in March, right? Or the suspension happened in March, so the adjustment will be added to March, right? Here's the problem. March has a past due balance. So, how much is the adjustment going to be for? 120. So where do you think this 120 is going to come off of? The past due. So it's going to drop this 120 down to what? 60? 60. It's still going to show the 380, bring the total balance down to what? 4 what? 440. Y'all with me?
Yeah.
Now this is where So the customer is going to go online and this is what happens. Oh, my bill was only $60 past due. Let me go ahead and make that payment. So he's going to go online and make a payment. And he's going to pay $60. Now that's going to bring his bill down to what? Now, here's where people get confused. They go here and they see 380. They go to Samson and they see 380. They're going to say the reason why your bill is high is because A, you have your 180, you have your restore fee because your service is suspended, plus you were charged a prorated amount of 120. And they're going to say, F you. Why would I be charged proration when I paid my bill of $180? Now I want you to look at the dashboard a little bit differently. Because at the end of the day, the rules still apply. Just because it shows 380 here, and you show 380 here, the rules still apply. If you see a prorated charge because what? Of suspension, you don't what? And then it's proration. So what are you going to tell this customer the reason why their bill is $380? How are you going to explain this to the customer?
The $80 restoration fee tax, the 180 for the monitoring charge.
Are you happy to transfer you to Click?
Damn! Give it up for her. She got it. That's what somebody ever got it. So here's how you, a little bit of psychology for the customer. So you pay $108 a month, right? Last month you only paid $60. So your past due balance is $180, you paid $60. So the $120 difference went towards this month's bill. That's why your bill is high. $180 for your new plan, $8 for restore fee, plus the $120 back past due that you didn't pay full last month. If you look, her past due was $180, right?
Yep.
Even though it shows $60 on the next line, she is still responsible for how much? 180. 180. She only paid 60. So that 120 difference from that past due went towards that current bill. Y'all see how I'm looking at it? I still didn't talk about proration. I just did a little reverse psychology. You didn't pay us the full past due 180, you only paid 60. So the 120 difference went towards his bill, that's why. It's 120 for that past due, 80 for your restore fees, and 180 for your new bill. Does that make sense? This is the scenario you're going to get. So when they always carry a past due balance, right? That system generator credit will drop that past due balance down. And when you see that, don't look at the $60. Look at it as the customer still owes $180. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because otherwise you'll be going because it matches. You'll be saying, well, you should be charging a proration. You know that we don't charge proration. Because we're charging the customer an extra $20. What happened is she didn't pay her full past due. And you have to look at it that way. You have to be able to look at it and see it. So rule is, if they suspend it in the next bill cycle, that system generated credit will drop down to past due balance. We still play it as if she still owes us 180 and not 60. So if you see this, let's say before she paid the $60, right? You see that the customer's past due is 60, right? Let's say pretend that she didn't pay that $60. And let's say this is the scenario. They had past due 180, the system generated credit dropped it down to 60. Hey, I'm looking at my online account, I'm curious of what I have to pay. It says 60, but I know my bill is 180. How much do I actually have to pay today? What you gonna tell the customer? 180. Yeah, your past due is still 180. You still owe us 180. Does that make sense? Who's not seeing it? Raise your hand if you don't see it. Be honest. It's kind of like you don't. It's not spelling it out here, but you have to be able to see it. Okay, it was a suspension. I know that they're going to get a system generated credit. Oh shoot, that is past due balance. So system generated credit happened in March, and there was a balance in March, so it dropped that down. But just because it dropped it down doesn't mean they get away with it. You still going to owe it that. Otherwise, it's going to make your current balance bigger. Does that make sense? Because if she would have paid, instead of paying 60, if she would have paid 180, then her bill would be 260, which is 180 plus $8. Does that make sense? But since she paid 60, then her bill is 380. So 120 plus the 120 of her past due balance plus the one-time referral fees and the 184. That's the hardest that you're gonna, that's the hardest part to do. So, everybody, are y'all a little bit, do y'all understand how the billing dashboard works?
I have a question. Yes. In terms of applying credits, whether it's an adjustment, internal adjustment, or if it's a payment by the customer, will it always go to the past due amount first?
So, that's a great question. So the question is, let's say if you're saying if the expert made an adjustment, right?
Yeah, whether the expert made an adjustment and then the customer made a payment too. So let's say,
No, sure.
no, it's okay. Just to show. So this was a system adjustment, right?
Right.
It was taken off.
Yep,
So this is the adjustment. It was taken off here. So
Yep.
there's remaining 60,
Right.
right? And then he made a payment of 60.
right.
So there should be 0 next, right? That's why it's
Yep.
blank here.
Yep.
So every credit, whether from the customer or a system adjustment or an agent adjustment, it will always go to the past due amount.
Not really, no.
Oh, okay.
No. So the reason why this system generated went to the past is because the customer didn't pay that same bill the moment in the same bill cycle that her service was suspended. So we know that that system generated adjustment would come off. We'll have to go back a bill in March. So if you in order to find that, what was it? 120, you have to go to March bill. So when we add it to here, because she had a balance in March, it came off here. But if she would have paid this 180, that system generated credit would come off the 380 amount. Does that make sense? But because she had a past due here of March, and the system generated credit goes towards March, it's going to drop this down. Now, let's just say the customer didn't pay this, right? And let me go by your scenario. Let's say we were just feeling generous and we gave the expert $100 credit. So this is going to be an agent adjustment. So let's say the agent want to adjust the customer $100. Now your question is, will that $100 come off this or will it come off this? And the answer to both of that is it could. And what dictates whether it's going to come off this or this? What dictates it? No, you're the mentor. Where do they go to make the adjustments at? And what system do you use to make the adjustment? Samson, right? So if you want to make the adjustment and you want to take it off of here, then what do you think you're going to need to make that adjustment at? Under which bill charges? Here or here? The previous. But if you go here and make the adjustment, it's going to come off which balance? The 380. Does that make sense? So when determining which Samson bill charges you pull up, if you pull off the current and you make $100 off this, let's say you make that $100 adjustment off this, is it going to lower this or is it going to lower that? But if you go here and make the $100, then it's going to what? Bring this down, then it's going to come off this because clearly there's not $100 to cover that. Does that make sense? So determining where you're at, which Samson charge tab you're on, even if you just went back to January, right? And say I'm going to take $100 off January, it's going to come off January's, but because it's going to come off the past due because it's still in the past. But we'll never ever do that unless it was something like a discrepancy, right? But we'll never do that. The only way it's going to come off the current is if you go to the current and make that $100. But if you go in a previous bill, it's going to come off the past due. Does that make sense?
Past due, current.
Yep. Wait, let me get April and then I got you.
Just to add
Oh.
to your question,
Uh-huh.
if the agent will make a goodwill adjustment,
The goodwill adjustment goes off the past due?
past the
Do it?
Yeah,
let's say you're not gonna use the code right tool and they'll just use the
So that's
code
band level.
adjustment, like the band
Yeah, band
level
level.
adjustment.
If it's a band level adjustment, yeah, it will.
Use it as a band level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Not a
don't know that. I don't
sub-level,
know
yeah.
nothing about that.
Mhm.
I didn't know that.
Just to add.
Because I don't never credit. I credit normally in Samsung bill charges.
Oh, like charge level.
Yes.
Okay.
I usually try it off the charge level unless it's a goodwill adjustment.
It should
and
be
they-
a band level. Yeah.
But I don't know where it came off of. Y'all know. So it comes off the current. That's something to know. So appreciate it. Yeah, I didn't know that. So yeah, I didn't know that. Thanks for that. But does that make sense? If I want to come off another bill or a past due balance, I can go back a bill under the bill level in that month and take it off that past due. Or, like you said, go to Goodwill adjustments, right? Because it comes off the past due anyway, right? Gotcha. All right. Simple, right? Are y'all 5, 3, 1? 5. Rule. If you see double charge, then they what? Backdate. Which means we only talk about the difference, right? From last month to this month.
Yeah.
If you see a prorated charge due to a suspension, we never talk about what? Proration. Now, you can kind of use the bill charges tab to say, hey, your bill runs you about $180 a month. Is that correct? So last month, I saw that your bill did go up by $200. That's why your bill is $390. So now you have to figure out what that $200 is at, right? Do you want to go by and go over every single charge, or you want to just focus on that $200 that went up? So you go to where? Where would you go to? Bill charges to see that charge for that bill. And let's just say it has, so it was $200, $120 of it was international charges, and then the other, let's say $80 was restoral fees. Are you going to say, hey, your monthly rate plan is $150. You have this feature on here. You also have the insurance. You also pay for your phone. You also have the taxes. Oh, then by the way, I see you have international charges. Do you want to go through all that? No, just talk about the international charges and the $80 restoral fees. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is this starting to get a little bit easier? All right, so you ready? So everybody come up to the board. Let's come up here. He's going to pull up an example. I don't know what this is. I couldn't even tell you what this bill is. Okay. All right. Oh, all right. Now, yeah. All right. What's going on? Is it gonna come?
It's still circuit.
Oh, you gotta put it on one of those. You gotta select one of those things that stay. Oh, all right. I don't know. Is that an HDMI? Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So, this is kind of what you get, right? So everybody come up a little bit so y'all can see it.
Look at their
Don't be
projector.
afraid now.
It's too
Don't
bright.
be afraid. So, the first thing we want to do is kind of figure out how much what? Monthly. So, what do? Do I scroll all the way down? Yeah. So I'm going to scroll down. And I'm going to go all the way down. And when I see bill cycle charges, see that? Yeah. On average, how much do we normally charge? How much does this customer usually pay?
$454.
$454 a month, right? You see that?
Mm-hmm.
So he's on average, he pays like $454, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we know that sometimes his bills is late, right?
Yeah.
He made a payment, half a payment bound, and then brought it down to $454. Then we charged him a payment arrangement fee. He made a payment, but then his bill came. By the time his bill came, guess what happened? He had a pass-through balance. So then he made a payment only $228, leaving that past due down to 114, but that balance to 558 because 114 plus 454 gives you what?
568.
Now, he made a payment of 114, bring his balance back to current, right?
Yep.
And then he actually made a payment, so his balance was finally zero.
Ah, yay! Congratulations.
And guess what? He made another payment of 220 right here. I don't know what that's from. Oh, so what happened was what? The overpayment, and it was backed out. So when we had his 454, it got him a 234, and then the payment back out brought him to what?
454.
Wait,
What?
yeah. Oh, here we go. He had a credit balance. This brought it back.
The payment.
So all
for
the payment that she
454
made
was
or he
back.
made?
Yeah, so it brought it back
We're back.
to what was it, 468?
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to line up.
Where did the 234 come from?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
the advance payment.
Maybe with
For the
that.
back.
The advance payment was 220.
Well, we don't know yet. Let's see. So this was a payment on a credit card. Let me see where this goes. So guess what? If I click here, right, I want to see something. I'm gonna click here and I'm gonna hit details.
220 yung pinaback out. 234 pinaback out.
Yes, no.
It looked like an IVR payment.
It is.
Please press one to
That's
pay.
different. The 220, I think that's not.
Oh. Oh.
What?
All right. So his bill was due 54. He made the payment, and then he made another payment for 220.
Using
And
a
then if we subtract 220 from 554, it brings the balance to what? 234. But
Because it was back out. So the charge was back.
Charge will be back as the normal charge.
by means of back out of payment.
The one we got charged is the 454.
oh,
So
so the 454 backed out.
Yep.
But if you look at the 454 that backed out, we got another bill cycle charge.
Yeah.
You already made the payment for the 450.
So technically, the 454 backed out, and we took the 220 payment. Oh, so it left a balance of 234. Then his new balance came right here, which brought it down to 688. See? Oh, y'all got it. It makes sense now. Yeah. So he made a payment of 280, bringing it back balance down to 408, right?
Yes.
Now, there's something that happened.
It was an adjustment.
There you go.
Immediate charge, payment arrangement.
And restoral fees.
So something happened here. What do you think happened here? So his service was suspended, right? And it looked like it was suspended on which day?
29.
And what did he have to pay to restore his service? 280. So we probably did 280. We charged him the $8 fee, which we credited. So, and then we made a payment arrangement for how much?
400.
Or
You see how we just figure that out without looking at the notes? So we saw that if we see, this gave it a clue, right? We know that 2277 is pretty much restoral fees.
yeah.
Right.
And that happened, we got restoral fees on the 29th, right? So this customer was suspended for his past due of 234. He made a payment of 280 to restore his services, which leave a balance of 408, and we made the payment arrangement because this $8 fee that we adjusted, let's know it was a payment arrangement fee, right? Or it could have been a regular payment, additional, yeah, I don't know. But, oh, we tell right here, right? Yeah, payment arrangement, immediate charge payment arrangement, support fee. So I made a payment arrangement for $400.47. Now, the moment his service is suspended, we charge him what? Restoration fees. So, which means his new balance after the restoration fees.
545.
So he got 6 lines.
120.
So 545.
Wow.
Lost
Now,
120.
he made another payment for how much?
280.
280. bringing the past due balance down to what?
265.
And then his new bill came up to what?
522.
So, what's weird about this charge and that charge?
Yep.
The bill, the MRC.
So let's just say a customer was to say, hey, your bill usually runs $554 a month, right? But I want to know why my bill is $522 this month.
Oh.
Even though this past due includes all
That
the
could be the
store fees,
proration that's being
his bill still should be
adjusted
$454, right?
Oh.
The
So let me
proration.
figure that out. So if I go here, hopefully it'll tell me the story of what's that extra
It will
70
appear, but it
some
will be
dollars, right?
corrected.
So I click on that, I hit details. Let's see what's off.
Oh,
What's wrong with it?
what's wrong with
Pablo sa Pablo.
So let's see. MRC, other charges. Let's see what's the other charges about. We know that the other charges are going to have those restoral fees on it.
Yes.
So I'm going to click on other charges and hit detail. And he has a one-time charge. We got that. Okay.
Protection.
Nope, that's not it. That's not it. What is it?
That's the suspension. Our restaurant. $20 plus 270.
Yeah, but it's already been
Never been done twice for her protection.
Oh, guess what happened?
Immigration.
So they have how many lines? Let's see, 14. 14. So 14 and 14 is 28. Plus another 14 and 14, 28. Plus 9 is what? 37. Plus another 14 is what? 51. Plus 15, 65. Plus another 15, 80. So that's where. So what? Why do you think he was charged double? Because what?
He paid for the restoration of his services.
Well, he got the restoral fees, but what happens when your service is suspended?
It stops.
It stops insurance. Let's see. So if that's the case, then he should receive a system generated adjustment, then, right?
Yes.
So let's go back. So we left off right here, right? So let's see if we see an adjustment for those double insurance charges he was paying. So, wait, where was that 5? Oh, bam, 12. So those are the prorated from his insurance. You see that? So that was the prorated amount for his insurance. And these are system generated adjustment. Now, did they come off the current or the past due? Past due. Oh, because if you notice, his past due gets lower and lower, right? So his past due was 160, right? But here's the thing. Did he pay 196 or was he smart to pay his full past due?
He paid the full past due.
Because his past due was 6503. He made a payment of what?
266.
Now, if you pay that past due, it brings his balance down to what? 452. Bam, which is close to his monthly payments of 454, right?
Yeah.
You see how that's all starting to come together?
Yeah.
Now, let's see what happens. So, again, 452, he made a payment of 120, which this is past due. So now he has 781, which is 332, now 449, which his bills usually run that month, right? Now, there was an adjustment for insurance, which we probably gave him that adjustment. And then there's a payment for 220, and there was a payment for 105, writing back current. Then by the time he made that payment of 212, it left him a past due balance of 237. He made a payment of 237, zero.
Yeah.
Now, look at his current bill right here now. Now this is the bill he got today.
Thank you, Master.
Now, based off what I saw, there's nothing that he did to make this bill higher. So I need to figure out, now we just need to figure out why his current bill 988, right? So he did it, and he wouldn't call in about this because if you go here, he made his payment for that. So he would call in about why this bill is high.
Yeah.
And he has every right. So let's click on here and hit detail. And here's the MRC, other charges, so we click here, and then hit, details. And let's figure out why this bill is a little bit higher. Oh, here it goes. So what is it?
Assurance.
Uh-oh.
Damage.
So, if a customer calls in and say, why my bill is high? Are you going to say, well, you have insurance, you have, I don't know, what's this $20 right here?
Restoration.
But this was for,
Restaurant.
yeah, you don't want to talk about this.
Okay.
Well, that
What
was
makes
the
it bill
sub
high? The damage fee.
Oh, it's getting red.
It's getting warmer. It's getting magenta.
Is that
Baby,
is this
what-
starting to come to y'all?
Yeah.
Hey,
Now
babe.
it's easy, right? I mean, now you're starting to understand how to use the dash storage. Focus on the charge. But the reason why bill is high is because you have a
Non-return.
non-return from insurance, not warranty, but he didn't return his insurance device when he did his insurance claim. Because if you, the only way you don't have to turn in an insurance claim device is if you reported what? Loss of stolen. If you reported damage, you have to give us that
Right.
device.
Mm-hmm.
Does that
If we
make
file a
sense?
claim.
All right.
For loss or
So
stolen.
the other one's on here, right? Was that easy?
Yeah.
All right, let's do another one. This one is who's this? Alexandra. So this is Cynthia. So let's see what Cynthia got going on. Oh,
Oh my god, so red. What's going on with the projector? Baby.
Let's see what. Oh, wait. Woo!
I go right.
All right. So every month Cynthia pays how much? Between what? 300. All right. So every month she pays on average
35.
So let's go. Bill cycle charge, and she always keeps a past due. You see that?
Oh my god.
We cannot see it.
It's
Come up a little bit closer. You see the red, and then there's the current. 333 plus 357.80. I'm gonna highlight it so it's easier to see. See that? See that?
yeah.
Now these credits are coming off what? They may be system adjustment. I don't know yet, but where are they coming off of? Past due. Okay. So then she got a charge of $8 because she must have did a payment arrangement. Then she made a payment of $139, bringing that past due down to $233. So we have that $233 plus the current of $333. It brings it up to $556.
Exactly.
Now, this $223 plus this $333 made the past due what? 556. Do y'all see that?
Yeah.
So she had a past due balance, and this was her current.
Yeah.
Now, this plus this makes it 556.
Yeah.
Now she didn't make a payment. So by the time this bill came out, this 556 makes, so this 556 equals two bills.
Yeah.
Plus in her current,
Plus another
giving her a
bill.
total of $897. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now,
Oh god.
she made a payment of what? $215, bringing the past to the current. I mean the past to 341 plus the 341 here for current, $682. Then it was due. She made another payment of $136. She still owes $204. These are the customers going to call and say, "Wow, I've been paying my bill every month." Right? Well, we know here she didn't pay the full, and you would have to go back and say, "Well, yeah, I did see you made a payment here, but you didn't pay this right here. So because you didn't pay this past due, this became past due, making it 556. Then you had your current. You would have to go back and you see that it makes it easier for you to understand this now. So now, let's go here. So she
I'm telling you,
made,
this
she
is
had a past
postpaid.
due of 554 or 545. Then her current came. Then she got some adjustments, $15. She probably called and complained about that. Uh-oh, what the freak did we do?
Oh, we adjusted it.
Wow.
Oh, EPS.
So wait, before, now we're not going through no notes. You tell me what happened here by looking at the code.
Extended payment schedule.
EPS, right? So what happened? What's an EPS? So what it does is we break that whole balance up and split it up into like 6 to 8 months. So they're going to pay that on top of their current balance.
Right.
Did you need to go to the notes, or did the dashboard tell you that story?
Yeah.
So now she got an EPS. So I know that this is probably why this bill is higher, because this includes probably this plus this EPS that's broken up, right? Now, guess what happens?
Where's the PA?
She still ain't paying her bill on time. So now, you know, you made a payment arrangement, which caused your bill to be now $1,000. And I thought if you make an EPS, you can't make payment arrangements, right?
Yep.
Not in the same, not for the same
You
bill.
still can?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take out the house.
Extension.
So she still have a past due. So she still didn't pay. And look, she's not paying her full balance. So guess what happens? She got suspended. Because what gave you? What told you? What gave it away that she got suspended? And she got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wow, there's a lot of lines.
Hey, it's tricky. She shouldn't be having this many. So what happens when your service is suspended? We charge the full what? We charge the full what?
Support. The full.
Or from the past due. Oh no.
For $17 balance.
So what do you think happened here? Why do you think her bill is $1,400 now?
On the one-time charge of 117 plus the current charge of 6.
What do you think that 817 is? What is that 817? What happens when you break your EPS? We charge you the full amount back. So now she don't no longer, and she can't get another EPS, and we charge her the full balance now. So that's why our bill is $1,431.
Yeah.
No.
Because it's 809.
It's too much.
Oh, that's
So-
for the $23.09. That's for the EPS.
Yep. So whatever the EPS agreement was, she was only probably paying like $80 a month, but because she broke it, we charged her the full amount back. So instead of breaking it up, we charged her the full amount plus her current, which is $614.
Yeah, that's why she was charged 917.
But Ernest, you can do EPS and PA as long as it's on a different cycle.
I have to look it up. I don't know. I have to look it up. That's a good question. Y'all can
Because I
pull it
had
up.
that card.
Yep.
There was
Yeah, I didn't know.
EPS and then I was setting up payment.
The rules changed since I was doing stuff, so it changed a lot. But does this make sense? You see how we were, and listen, think about it. We were able to tell the customer's story without looking through the notes. We were able to look through the customer's story, and we didn't focus on what they had. We just said, okay, your bill usually run this amount. This something went wrong here. Let me click on it and see what charge made it go to $300 more. Oh, one-time fee for this. Oh, you didn't get this. You know, we were able to tell the story. We saw, oh, EPS. So you did an EPS. That's why that whole amount went credited. So I know that now, next month, your bill won't be $330. It's going to be $330 plus the EPS monthly, which is, let's say, $60. So it'd be $390. You know, and then, you know, we was able to tell the story. We can tell it was when they were suspended. So what day were they suspended for this account? What day were they suspended?
Fourth.
The 4th. Because they were charged what? Restore fees on the 4th. So this is when they restored their services. So we got 13 pending items. Let's see. Look at all this. So is the dashboard a lot easier now?
Yes. Fair point.
You don't need to go through every single charge.
Oh.
Just figure out what day was it that you noticed that difference from when they usually pay a month. and then just focus just on that and say, hey, last month you paid this because you added international charges. And that's why your bill was last month. But you only paid $300 and you should have paid $450. So that $150 went past due, and that's why it's from the international charges or something you didn't pay, whatever. But you can tell the story right here.
Yeah.
So did this make billing a lot more easier?
Yes. Absolutely.
So, what you can do, and you have this right, is hey, David, Clarell, what do you call him? CC. David, CC. Can you go into the account and pull up some more accounts so we can practice this today? Can we do it every day? You can do it until you get good at it. And this is what's going to make them good. If you do what we just did right here every single day, it's going to make them good at being able to explain, bill, understand it. There's going to be times where you're going to already know what it is and how to present it. Remember, the husband's stuck in his ways. You can't do the husband. Because I guarantee you, we would have went through bill charges, it would have confused you. If you go to bill charges trying to find this, you can't do this off bill charges. Here, this tells the story of the account. And we're able to tell the story by understanding our cues, understanding what happened, understanding we know $8 is either a payment fee or a payment arrangement fee. But we also see restoral fees, immediate charge $20, that means that service is suspended. So I know that that's going to stack up. And if I don't know something, then all I do is I can just go here, click on here, hit details, and figure it out from here. Other charge, I don't even know what this is going to show. It's $362, I don't even know what this is. Oh, this is EIP charges? Ooh. Well, that's what he's probably paying monthly for. That's why his bill is so high. ESP right here. EPS is EPS. EPS.
Oo, nakakalubog talaga ng EPS.
I know, right?
Totoo yun. Unless kung may na-expect ka talagang malaking perang darating, lulubog ka talaga.
Just pay it at once.
Oh, this is the one right here. We'll look at details. Okay. Oh yeah. This is easy. This is what I didn't know about. And I found this out my last trip, like in November. It's been here the whole time, but I didn't know about this. I love using this. It makes it easier. Y'all don't use this, do you?
No.
But do you see the benefit now of using this?
Yes.
Easy.
But she's just using that.
So it comes with practice. The more practice, you can pull them up. You can show her how to do it in Crest like filter with different type of accounts. You can pull up out of warranty fees. You can pull up shipping fees. You can do little ones like, hey, what is this? $13. Why did the bill went up $13? Shipping fee. Have them look for it and be able to focus just on that $13 charge. Because sometimes customer will say, why my bill went from $13? And it can be something so simple as a shipping fee. But at least you don't have to go at, well, your bill was this, this, and this. We know that a shipping fee is a one-time fee, and it was like $12.99. So that's why your bill was up $13 because you got a phone and we should charge you for shipping. So did we make your lives a lot easier now?
Yes.
Alright, so I can't wait to come back here and you guys tell me your story about your billing calls. Alright, that's all I have. Appreciate you guys for taking the time.
Thank you.
Thank you. And midterm.